I just can't believe what's going on out there. Let's talk about this. How can you be relatable when you're not relatable? That's a good question. Okay, last night I couldn't sleep, which is nothing new. So I was watching a couple reaction channels, and I cannot believe the mentality of some people out there. It just blows my mind. I'm not going to name any names, but one that became stupidly wealthy is saying, how can I relate to my people? How can I be in touch with you when she's not living in reality as is? The majority of the people are just getting by. The majority of the people, working two jobs, paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford elevators in their homes. It was just crazy, 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 crazy what I was seeing. When have we become so materialistic and think we're relatable to other people? Like, one thing I cannot stand, and it's not because I don't have it, I just feel they're trying to make themselves more important. Or look at me. Um, look, I'm this amazing person because I have this kind of car. I have this many pair of shoes. I bought this brand name, constant name dropping of brands. Constant, 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 constant. But what does that have to do with relating to another person on, you know, a relatable level? I keep losing the words. Bloody hell. Like, whether it be on a spiritual level, on a soul level, relating to that person, seeing that person not for the brands they are wearing or what they drive or where they live, but for who they are. And this is where all this greed and consumption is coming from, that we're losing humanity. We're losing the ability to see people for who they are, because now society has set another standard that if you don't have this, you don't do this, you don't drive this kind of car, you don't wear these kind of clothes, that you're not a good person. What the fuck? You're a good person. I don't care if you're walking around in a garbage bag. If you've got a good soul, you've got compassion, empathy, humanities about you, that's what life's about. Not about the fact that you drive, a $200,000 car. Who gives a shit? Now, when I see people doing that, especially males, I think, man, you must have a really small, you know where I'm going with that one. And for females, it's like, what is inside of you that you feel so inadequate that you've got to build yourself up to something you're not, to make yourself feel important and try and get validation from other people. Like when I see those massive lips, and are you looking for validation from it? You look ridiculous. How can you? You know what? I'm going to get on my soapbox again, and I probably shouldn't. How can you function normally? Seriously, tell me how. How can you eat or drink or do whatever, even talk properly? Okay, off the soapbox now and back onto the reality of things. Why can we not accept each other for who we are? Not what we have, but for who we are. Not what we look like, but for what's under the skin, in the soul, in the heart. Oh, it seems to be a foreign concept these days, that to show kindness, to not care what designer label somebody has. It's we've lost the plot, people. Our uniqueness is what makes us who we are. And that is being lost because society is saying, you got to have fake this, you got to have fake that, you've got to have filters, you got to use AI, all this sort of thing. That's why I'm doing this, to keep it real. This is raw and uncut. No filters. It is an AI. My thumbnails I make myself. I could go on AI and have them do a thumbnail. I don't want to, because we're losing the ability to be ourselves, to be creative. I got crappy lighting, crappy sound, crappy camera, but that's okay, because this is reality. This is reality based. And what I'm seeing out there is just the biggest pile of horse shit I've ever seen in my life. Now, okay, you're going to say, oh, you're, old. Yeah, I am. I very much am. But you'll find us in this generation, and there's some few younger folk, and I applaud you, and I say, well done. Keep a hold of what you're doing right now, that can actually see what's going on and saying, I don't want a part of that. That's not me. I need to be me. And there's nothing wrong with being me. If you don't like that, I don't want you in my freaking life. If you expect me to, have all these fancy things, designer names, and I'm not worthy of being in your inner circle, I don't give a flying fuck. I don't want to be in your inner circle. I seriously don't. And I don't want you in mine. Because mine is the polar freaking opposite. Mine is keeping it real, opening your heart, not looking on what's on the outside, looking what's on the inside, appreciating people, embracing people. Not literally, well, sometimes I do. I can be a hugger. But embracing people for who they are and respecting people for who they are. And don't get me started on this, I identify as a panda. I've been down this road before. I don't care. I really don't care. Who are you trying to convince? Me or you? Because when I look at you, I see a person. I don't see said whatever and adding all these extra, what the hell are they called, pronouns, crap things. Oh, come on, please. I'm probably going to get slated for this, probably going to get an email saying I'm citing hate. I'm not. I'm citing reality. I really am. Okay. I gotta love you and leave you. It's stupid o'clock in the morning. Well, not really. What is it? 7:51 right now. I've been up for hours. Got a lot on the go today. I've got a lot on my side hustle, a lot of crafting to do. Let's see. I've got to finish. You can't really see that, can you? I got to finish that off today. I'm, discovered a few new hobbies, and bless my local farm shop. I just love Lucy. It's not the TV show. Such a down-to-earth kid. I'm telling you, I just love her to pieces. Very spiritual, soul-centered, unique. That she wants to have a little craft and creative corner. Well, ding, ding, ding. I'm your girl, because she knows I craft like crazy. And I've done her a few things, and she's seen a few pictures of what I've done. So I've got to make a whole bunch of stuff up, get it over to her, and we'll go from there. And hopefully my side hustle can keep generating that little extra. Now, that's what I mean about relatability. We went from a 2-income household to a 1-income household. And if you've never seen any of my other videos, I know I keep saying this. My mom-in-law had a stroke. I had to quit my job, well, I didn't have to. I chose to quit my job and care for her full time. She does live with us. And yeah, yeah. So it's a 24-hour day, 7 day a week. I get a couple breaks here and there to go to the gym, and that's for respite and recovery. I'll go into that because that was part of my absence for a while. I had to get my head out of my ass and back in the game and start caring for myself. So, okay, again, I gotta love you and leave you. And I really hope you have the most amazing day.